Hello.
This is the DuPage County Zoning
Hi.
Board of Zoning Hearing Officer Program for October 15th, 2025. We have two cases today, but first I'm going to call the meeting to order. Indicate that there is no public comment, is that right? And then I have minutes to approve from a recommendation meeting of September 17, 2025. Those minutes have been transmitted to writing. I've reviewed the written report of the minutes and I'm approving and adopting those minutes. And we have two cases before us today. I'm going to take the Savinock case first and the Fitanto case second, because it's my understanding that Fitanto is not online as yet, but I do see Mr. Savinock.
Yes, I'm here.
So I will call case number 25060, the Savinock petition. And that is a request for variation for a recreational apparatus in front of my house in DuPage County. It's a Milton Township petition. I have objections from the building department. I have comments from Milton Township. And I have objections filed by Milton Township Highway Department. Basically, they indicate that they need more information. I have two exhibits for this case. One is a 10-year-old survey, 2015, and the other is a markup of that survey, I guess, indicating a site plan. I'll take them as exhibits number one and number two. I see two people who may give testimony in this case, so may I ask you both to raise your hand and be sworn in?
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony and evidence you're about to give at this time shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I do.
Okay, Mr. Savinock, would you identify yourself, spell your name, and give us your address, please?
My name's David Savinock. You need me to spell out my name?
Yeah, we're making a recorded record of it, so.
Okay, David Savinock, David, last name Savinock, Savenok. I live at 0N127 Napple Avenue in Wheaton, Illinois, 60187.
Okay, and you are the petitioner, sir?
Correct.
Who lives at the house with you?
My wife and kids,
And how many vehicles are on the property?
2 vehicles.
Passenger cars?
One minivan and one small SUV.
Okay, and then tell us about your case, sir. What are you requesting?
It's for the recreational apparatus is a basketball hoop. That's I want on my driveway so that my kids can play basketball.
Oh, this is for a basketball hoop?
Yes, it is. Yep.
The other case is a recreational vehicle, but yours is simply a basketball hoop?
Yeah, recreational apparatus is what they called it, told me to call it, but it's a basketball hoop, yes.
Describe it for me.
It's just to the side of my driveway. That X on that one of the documents has like a red X on it.
Yeah,
That indicates where it's located. On the driveway. It's just to the side of the driveway.
okay. Is it permanently affixed or is it one of these platform things?
It's permanently affixed in concrete.
Okay, how long has it been there?
Ever since I bought it. The house was built in 2017 and I bought it in 2020, 2021, I think it was.
How long do you propose to keep it there?
Well, my kids until they grow up, I would hope so. They play basketball, they play on basketball teams, and they use it almost every day. So I would like it there until at least they grow up, and I don't need it anymore. I sell the house.
Okay, well, kind of give me a little better perspective. What are you talking about in number of years?
So my youngest daughter is in kindergarten. She's 5. So I'm thinking somewhere between 10 and 15 years should do it.
Okay. And what's your hardship, unique circumstance, or practical difficulty to permit this?
My hardship?
Yeah, that's a zoning word. It's not common usage
Well,
of
the reason I'm petitioning for the zoning is because I got a violation for the basketball hoop. I'm just trying to make it so that I make good on that. I don't want to keep getting violations for something I didn't know I wasn't allowed to have.
But why do you have to have it here at that location? That's what I'm,
In the driveway at my house.
yeah. This is the hardship, unique circumstance, or practical difficulty that you're supposed to prove up.
Well, so why do I want the basketball hoop at my house in the driveway? Well, I mean, I want it so that my kids can use it, because they live here with me every day. I mean, it's been there since we bought the house and they've been using it, and I would like to keep it there.
Did you buy the house in 2015?
No, it was 2020 or 2021, I forget exactly.
Oh, I was guessing because of the date of the survey.
No, that was the construction. That's when construction started.
Okay. Do you have anything else?
Uh, no, it's basically it. Just trying to keep the basketball hoop so my kids can use it.
Okay. Sir, do you want to make a comment?
Yes,
Okay, tell us your last name and spell your name and tell us your address.
yes, Stanley Halady, last name is Halady. My address is 0N119 Depot Avenue, Wheaton, Illinois.
And how close are you to this property?
I'm the adjoining property owner, and the driveway is within 3 feet, 4 feet of my property.
Okay, and what do you have? What's your view of this, or what's
Well,
your?
I object to it because it's noise. I mean, if you want to listen to hours and hours of a basketball bouncing off a concrete slab, it penetrates the windows, the doors, it's, and like he says, they use it all the time. So it is quite often.
Okay. Any follow-up comments, Mr. Savinock?
Um, yeah, I mean, using a ball on a driveway is fairly common, and I wouldn't say qualifies for noise that penetrates. And it's interesting to hear that from Stuart, just because we've petitioned and asked many times for him to stop turning on his radio that he has on all day long in his shed, and that noise is on all day long, and it doesn't seem to be bothering him. So I'm not sure why a basketball hoop bouncing on concrete would bother him.
Okay, well, I really can't regulate, the number of kids on each team or the hours of use. This goes exclusively to the location of this basketball hoop and the ordinance. So I'll take all this information into consideration. And if you have nothing further, I'll close the record and make a decision at the recommendation meeting, which will be held in this case at 3 o'clock on November 5. You can appear once again, like in the same manner by Zoom or in person, but there's no further testimony. Frankly, while I say you can appear in person, nobody comes to these recommendation meetings. So if you're interested, you can appear by Zoom because they last, a moment. I simply announce the decision. So if there's nothing else, I'll close this hearing. Thank you both for your presentation today. And we'll be back here to consider this on November 5. Okay, close the record.
Hello.
Okay, we're back on the record for case number 25059, the Fetanto petition. This is a request for variation to allow a recreational vehicle, namely a vintage Airstream RV, in front of the front wall of the property, Milton Township petition, on about a half an acre lot serviced by well and septic. I have objections from the building department. I have comments from the Milton Township Highway Department, and I have objections from the village of Glen Ellen. There are two exhibits that have been presented in this case, which I use that word slightly euphemistically. The first is a plat of survey, which appears to be from 1956. And the second is some kind of a drawing, presumably of the property, but it's not to scale or anything else. It's just a sketch, which I'll take as the site plan. I'll take it tentatively as exhibit 2 is the site plan. There are two people that are online here, I see. May I ask both of you, if you're going to testify, to raise your hands and be sworn in?
You solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony and evidence you're about to give at this time shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Is Barb muted?
I am
Oh.
muted. I am here. This is not the specific zoning request I'm looking for. I'm looking for 60, which I suspect is your next one.
No,
Yeah.
is that the one we just had?
Yeah.
I was only let into this meeting. I've been on hold for about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
All right, I'll take your testimony in that case. I close the record, but I'm prepared to reopen it and take your testimony. Just bear with us. I don't want you to go back on hold, so if you'd agree to sit through this case, I'd appreciate it.
Sure.
So, Ms. Fitanto, would you make your presentation?
Sure. Well, first, I apologize for my drawing. I wasn't actually, I'm a new homeowner. I wasn't aware that I had to have it to scale. So I apologize for that. I am looking to keep my Airstream parked in my driveway. The side of my home is a stormwater way, and the other side doesn't have enough space. When I bought the Airstream, the ordinances were different, and I had it parked there. And they've changed. So I'm just hoping to come to some sort of, I guess, realistic solution today with you all on where to have it stored in a way that aligns with everybody and, you know, checks all the boxes and makes everyone happy.
Tell me a little bit about the use of this vehicle.
There is no current use for the vehicle. Before I bought this home in 2021, I gutted it with the intention of one day living out of it. But once I bought this home, I basically just have it parked here. So it's still gutted. It's not able to be like used as any sort of, you know, temporary residence. It's really just a vintage trailer sitting in my driveway, unfortunately, at this time. I'm not sure if I want to keep it or sell it, but at this time I have nowhere else to put it, and I don't have like local relatives with, you know, property that would allow for that either. So this is my best bet.
Well, I have a little difficulty with this because your request is for a variation to allow a recreational vehicle to sit in the front wall, in front of the front wall. A variation lasts forever. So you're intended, what I understand to be a temporary use. This, you know, sounds innocent enough, but the request is for something that lasts forever.
I see.
So it's a little problematic. Do you have any other information?
I don't. There was a woman that I spoke to through zoning though, because I had received a violation notice. And so when I called to speak to the board about that, or I don't know, board, but I wish I had her name on hand. She told me that I should apply for a conditional use permit, and I thought that's what I had applied for. So I don't, by any means, I don't know if there's any way to revise my application or petition to be conditional use and for us to put a time limit on it of some variety. I'm definitely open to that.
All right, I'll consider that possibility if it exists. Do you have
Okay.
anything else?
I don't. I've never done this before.
What kind of plan do you have for this? I mean, are we talking about a year request or 6 months or years?
That's a good question. I mean, have you ever had a dream? My dream would be to
You wake up screaming every night.
That sounds awful. My dream would be to eventually have it be something that I could travel in with my family and I guess actually, have for travel purposes. But I think a year, I do have a 2-year-old, so only having a year to, I don't know, get it in a condition that's good enough to sell and no longer have it on my property probably wouldn't be enough time. Toddler math is very real. So it takes a long time to do anything. I imagine that a year feels a little limited, and I would struggle to have it in a sellable place if I were to sell it. But I guess, yeah, I guess I'm ill prepared. I apologize. I didn't really, I just thought,
Well, this is a pretty straightforward case, so I understand your case. The drawing, which I criticized as a site plan, is difficult, because it is sketchy, but I understand your position. So I didn't mean to be, make too much of a fuss out of the site plan. What else do you have?
me?
Right.
What do I need to have? What do you need from me?
Well, you have to present a case. I'm not interested in having you received a notice that said you have to be prepared to, do certain things. I don't need you to go through the 7 standards for variation because I can determine an answer to each of those based on the testimony that you've given. So all I'm saying is, if you have anything else that you want to offer, then make your statement now. Otherwise, I'll close the hearing and render a decision on November 5. My decision goes to the County Development Committee, and then they confer and transmit the matter for a final decision to the full county board. That'll
Okay.
happen probably in the month of November.
Well, I don't have any notarized petitions from neighbors. I have spoken to several of my neighbors who don't seem to have a problem with it. I imagine if they did, they would have showed up today. So it doesn't seem to be bothering any of my neighbors. It doesn't seem to be a safety concern at this point. I mean, I don't have the factors that you have. So of course, you'll submit this to who needs to hear it. And I guess they'll know more than me. But I just would like to not have to get rid of this stream yet and keep it in my driveway for an extended period of time. We do live in an unincorporated neighborhood. There are other homes that have their trailers parked in the driveway, probably against ordinances as well, but it doesn't bother me. The driveway is still fully accessible. I mean, to get in and out of the garage, sort of off to the side. There's like a little part of my driveway that's like an add-on, and it's sitting over there. So I don't know. Again, I might be a little ill prepared. I apologize, but that's all I have, I think.
All right, I understand your case. I'll close the record. There's no further testimony being proposed by any neighbors or other witnesses. So I'll consider the matter and render a decision on November 5. Once again, my decision is recommendation of the County Development Committee.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll close the hearing.
Okay.
And I'm going to reopen the give me the number of the Savinoff petition. I'm recalling Savinoff 25060. We have a lady who is appearing by Zoom, and there was some confusion here. We thought she was here for a different case, but when we admitted her and swore her in, she indicated she wanted to make a statement about the Savinoff case. So I'll permit that now. I see that you were sworn in. Would you state your name, spell your last name, tell us your address, and tell us where you live in relation to this property? And then I'll give you a little time to make your statement.
Sure, it's more of a general inquiry, but I'm happy to abide by that. First name is Barbara, Barbara. Last name is Jacqueline, Jacklin as in Nancy. We reside at 0N150 Nepal Avenue, NEPIL. So we are within the 300 feet that is outlined in the notice. The house in question is across the street and to the south by 2 houses. My statement is more of an inquiry, as I stated, which is really requesting clarification on the request. It simply says variation for a recreational apparatus in front of my house in DuPage County. But it's an incredibly small piece of front property on this house. And so I guess my question is, what is this recreational apparatus that the homeowner's requesting, given the fact that it's going to be very visible?
That was my question too, until the hearing. Apparently he's got a basketball hoop.
He does on the other side of the driveway, I believe. Yes. Actually,
that is
yeah, I
the-
guess.
That is the item in question. So he's requesting a variation for a basketball hoop.
An additional hoop in addition to what he has?
The one that's there. The one that's there technically violates the ordinance.
Oh, okay. So
I'll tell you that during the hearing, he testified it's been there for quite some years. He intends to keep it for quite a few additional years. I told him I have some difficulty with this because the variation lasts forever. And if this is granted, I can't put a time limit on it because it lasts forever. So I'm struggling with the case a bit, but that's what it's about.
okay.
That knowledge, do you have any specific opinion as to whether it should be allowed or denied?
Given the fact that it's basically replacing or correcting the zoning variance that probably it's in conflict with, I have no problem with it. It's
was-
go ahead.
Okay, I got that you have no objection. There was one neighbor that said it's a tremendous nuisance in the neighborhood. Do you have a view of that?
I will be honest and tell you that my husband and I work during the day, not in the home. And so if it's a nuisance during the day, we have not experienced that. Sure. Do I hear bouncing ball on the concrete? Sure, on the weekends, but it's a neighborhood. I don't know if I would expect anything other than that, frankly. Yeah, that would not be a concern. I was more concerned that they were contemplating a swimming pool or some other very crazy idea to place in the front of this property. So a basketball hoop, I am not concerned with.
When I read the record in the case and the petition, I had no idea what it was, and I
Yeah.
expected something a little different than a basketball net.
I expected it to be dramatic, which is why I'm attending this, not a basketball hoop.
Well, certainly glad you had to sit through 2 hearings to find out that we're talking about the basketball.
It's been enlightening, so I was happy to do so.
Okay, thanks very much. I'll close the hearing and indicate that we should probably submit this testimony to the petitioner, or at least in summary fashion, because I don't want to have to get into the details necessarily. But the
That's fair.
petition be made aware that we had to reopen the record.
Okay. All right.
you
Thank you
very
so much for your time.
You bet.
Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, we inadvertently went off the record for just a moment. There's no business transacted during that brief pause. We're now back on the record, and I'll indicate that there's no old business, no new business, and we're ready to adjourn for sure, with full intent to adjourn, and we're not coming back on the record. Okay, we're closed.